Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is Sports Buzz. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next half an hour. Final of Asian Champions Trophy underway between India and China. Unbeaten India eyes second consecutive and record extending fifth title. Champions League's new era kicks off with Kylian Mbappe chasing first title. Mouth-watering clashes on day one. India's unbeaten run continues in chess Olympiad. Men and women make it 6-on-6, beat hosts Hungary and Armenia. And host India sweat it out at Chepauk as Bangladesh test awaits India on red soil. Rohit says series not a rehearsal for Australian tour. Alright, we'll start with hockey. Defending champion India men's hockey team is taking on China in the summit clash of Asian Champions Trophy in Ulumpur City. China stunned Pakistan 2-0 in the shootout after holding them to 1-1 in the regulation time, while India defeated South Korea 4-1 in the second semi-finals. India is the most successful team in the competition with 4 titles, while China will feature in its first ever final. India have advanced to the Asian Champions Trophy hockey final for the 6th time in 8 editions, and they have remained undefeated in the tournament. They also defeated China in the first game that they played, and the score was 3-0. And head-to-head also, India is better than China. But yes, it will be a big moment if India go on to win this title again, which will be record extending 5th title. And Pakistan defeated South Korea convincingly 5-2 to secure the 3rd place in the Asian Champions Trophy on Tuesday. Korea had taken the lead in the second quarter before Pakistan scored 2 goals in 1 minute to shoot into a 2-1 lead. Yang Jae-hoon made it 2-2, but there was no stopping Pakistan after that heading into the last quarter. The scoreline was 3-2, where Pakistan sealed the game with 2 more goals. Sufyan Khan and Hanan Shahid shone for Pakistan with 2 goals each. Alright, let's talk about football now. New era of Champions League kicks off on Tuesday with a new format. The first match will be played between Juventus and PSV Eindhoven. But how does the new format work? Let's try to learn through graphics. So it will be one league now. All teams will compete in a single 36-team league, replacing the previous format of 8 groups with 4 teams each. In the new league phase, teams will play 8 matches instead of facing 3 opponents twice. They will play against 8 different teams with half of the games at home and half away. And the top 8 teams will advance directly to the round of 16, while those finishing from 9th to 24th will enter a 2-leg knockout playoff for a chance to secure a spot in the next stage. So teams that finish 25th or lower will be eliminated and will not advance to the Europa League. And from the round of 16 onwards, the Champions League will revert to its traditional format with the final held at a neutral location. And who draw who? Teams are divided into 4 pots for the draw based on their club coefficient. Each team will play against 2 teams from each pot, with 1 match held at home and the other away. Teams will be restricted from facing rivals from their own country and will be limited to playing against only 2 clubs from any single country. And more matches under the new format. The total number of matches will rise from 125 to 189, with each team playing between 8 and 17 games, and the league phase extending until the end of January rather than concluding before the Christmas. So we have told you about the new format. Now, Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti said on Monday midfielder Jude Bellingham and Aurelien Tchouameni we are back from injury as Los Blancos begin the defense of their Champions League trophy. The record 15-time winners and current holders Real Madrid will face German side Stuttgart on Tuesday night at the Santiago Bernabeu and they are now also boosted by return of England international Bellingham and Francis Tchouameni. Meanwhile, defender Eder Militao did not train on Monday, but the Brazilian would also be ready for the clash. Coach Ancelotti said his team was just as hungry to win the competition this year.
Jude Bellingham is doing well, and so is Tchouameni, as will be Eder Militao, who didn't train today because he needed an extra recovery day. So these important players are coming back. We also have the bad luck of losing yet another important player, Brahim Diaz. But I think the team is doing very well to do a good match tomorrow, to start winning in this new competition.
And Liverpool are gearing up before heading to Italy, where they will face AC Milan in the first game of the Champions League campaign on Tuesday night. Liverpool will be looking to bounce back in Milan following new manager Arne Slot's first taste of defeat as boss on Saturday after his side lost 1-0 to Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. Slot has made only one change to the starting lineup in the first 4 league games of the season, but is expected to rotate the players for tonight's match. Life under Slot for Liverpool had begun with 3 league wins on the trot without conceding, including a dominant 3-0 victory at Manchester United before losing to Forest on Saturday.
We didn't do as many things good as we did against United, but there were still a few things that went quite well. But it was a total different game, and that's also for tomorrow. I expect a complete different game against Milan, with the type of players they have and the playing style that manager has compared to Nottingham Forest. But we should be disappointed if you lose a home game against Nottingham Forest and you play for and you work for Liverpool. If you're not disappointed, if you drop points in a home game against Nottingham Forest, then something is wrong.
In the Champions League, against these kinds of teams, we know that we cannot make mistakes. If we make a mistake once, they'll score goals. That's why I think we have to be a complete team to defend and to have the possibility to attack after. It's one of the teams in Europe for me at this moment.
And Bayern Munich continued training preparations on the eve of the Champions League opener at home to Dynamo Zagreb. Bayern, who are at the top of the Bundesliga with 3 league wins from as many matches, start their campaign in the hope of reaching the final to be played in the Allianz Arena in May 2025. Tuesday's game is also the first Champions League match as a coach for former Belgium international Vincent Kompany, who took over Bayern this season. Bayern trained without French defender Sacha Boey, who underwent meniscus surgery in his left knee after being injured in training on Sunday and will be sidelined for several weeks. And the hearing into Manchester City's 115 charges for alleged breaches of the Premier League's financial rules began on Monday. City were charged and referred to an independent commission in February 2023 following a 4-year investigation. It is alleged City breached its financial rules between 2009 and 2018. City strongly deny all charges and have said their case is supported by a comprehensive body of irrefutable evidence. It has also accused the Premier League champions of not cooperating. The private hearing, expected to last around 10 weeks, is being held at the International Dispute Resolution Centre in the City of London. And former Euro Cup winning Aston Villa striker Gary Shaw has died at the age of 63 after sustaining injuries in a fall. The Premier League club released a statement on Monday where they disclosed that the 80-star footballer had passed away. Shaw represented England in under-21s, where he scored 79 goals in 213 matches for his boyhood club Villa. He later went on to have spells at Danish club Jo Ben Haven's Bold Club, English League Two club Walsall and Scotland's Kilmarnock, among several other clubs. Shaw also won the First Division title with Villa in 1980-81 and European Super Cup in 1982. All right, cricket now. India are fighting for a spot in the World Test Championship final in June 2025, and the first stop is Bangladesh at the MA Chidambaram Stadium. In a departure from the trend at Chepauk, India are set to play the test on a red soil pitch, which will have more bounds for the bowlers, and both spinners and pacers should enjoy themselves, provided they are on the money. Talking about the team combination, Rohit Sharma and Gautam Gambhir will have to make that call when they sit down to finalize India's 11. India are likely to play 5 bowlers with Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja being certain starters. The contenders for the 5th spot are Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Akash Deep and Yash Dayal, the only left-arm seamer in the squad. Team India captain Rohit Sharma at a press conference spoke on different issues. So on test series against Bangladesh, he said that no dress rehearsal, every game is important. Doesn't matter where we play, we want to win this test and the series. Not looking too far ahead, it's nice to have everyone back and start the season on a high. And on how he picks the test 11, he said, some things are straightforward, don't have to think too much. When we select an 11, we look at what people have done in the past, runs, wickets, experience an individual brings to the table, impact a player can have. And on India's preparation after a long break, he said that we had a good time spending time on the field. And on importance of bilateral series, he said that every series is important for us. We won't relax just because we are playing this game. And on support staff, he said that it's a new support staff, but yes, I've been playing cricket for 17 years now, so I'm used to it. I know they all have different perspectives and you have to adjust accordingly. We don't have any issues as such. Understanding is quite important and we have that. And the International Cricket Council has announced the prize money for the ICC Women's T20 World Cup set to take place next month in the UAE. The ICC has lifted the total prize pool for the 2024 edition to an impressive $7.9 million, more than double that of 2023 edition. This significant boost ensures that the winners of the Women's T20 World Cup 2024 will walk away with a staggering $2.34 million. The runners-up will also secure $1.17 million in the upcoming edition. The semi-finalists will receive $675,000 each, more than 3 times their 2023 payout. And the prize money extends beyond the knockout stages, as each group stage win will now be rewarded with $31,154, reflecting a 78% increase from last year's $17,500. The prize money extends beyond the knockout stages, as each group stage win will now be rewarded with $31,154. And this historic prize rewards not only aligns with the ICC's vision for parity between the men's and women's games, but also further elevates the status of the Women's T20 World Cup as one of the premier events. The former Australian head coach Darren Lehmann stepped down from his role as the Brisbane Heat and Queensland men's assistant coach. Lehmann has stepped down from his role to take a permanent radio commentary job at ABC Sport for the upcoming summer of cricket in Australia. He was the coach of Brisbane Heat last year, where the team managed to bag the title under his reign. With Wade Secombe's departure, Lehmann was expected to continue his role under the new head coach. However, on the eve of 2024-25 season, Lehmann decided to leave his position. And Australian selectors have named Mahalli Beardman, a 19-year-old fast bowler with 1 senior professional cricket match under his belt, as standby for the ODI series in England. Western Australian Beardman's call-up follows his player of the match performance in the Under-19 World Cup final against India in February. Pat Cummins and other leading quicks are skipping the England series, which has little context and nothing really at stake. Several other pacers are unavailable due to injury, including Spencer Johnson and Nathan Ellis. The first ODI of the 5-match series will take place on Thursday at Trent Bridge. All right, we'll slip into a very short break, but still to come on this edition of Sports Buzz. Indian shuttler Priyanshu Rajawat knocked out of China Open in straight games. And Glasgow is set to be announced as host city of Commonwealth Games in 2026.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Sports Buzz. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. India's Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia, chaired the second formal meeting of the COP9 Bureau and the third formal meeting of the Funds Approval Committee under the UNESCO International Convention Against Doping in Sport in New Delhi. The two-day high-level meetings aim to advance global collaboration in the fight against doping, emphasizing the importance of integrity, fairness and inclusivity in sport. Dr. Mandavia highlighted India's commitment to clean sport and its leading role in global anti-doping efforts. Badminton now. Indian shuttler Priyanshu Rajawat faced his second consecutive first-round exit, losing in straight games to Brian Yang of Canada at the China Open in Guangzhou. Priyanshu lost 13-21, 16-21 in just 36 minutes against Yang, while number 24 asserted his dominance from the outset, winning 5 consecutive points in the opening game, while Priyanshu could only manage 2. This loss is a significant setback for India, as Priyanshu was considered one of the country's top contenders in the tournament. India's hopes in the men's singles category at the China Open now rest on Kiran George, who will face a tough test against Japan's Kenta Nishimoto in the first round on Wednesday. Chess now. India's men and women teams continued their impressive run as India posted victories at the 5th round of Chess Olympiad in Budapest. The second seed Indian men defeated Hungary 3-1 to maintain their unbeaten record. The 6th round saw Arjun Erigaisi registering his 6th win in a row. The world number 4 beat Hungary's Sanan Jurigirov on the 3rd board, gaining an early edge and ruthlessly pressing home the advantage for a dominant win. While Hungary's top-rated players Richard Rapau and Peter Leko held World Championship challenger D. Gukesh and R. Pragyananda to draw on the top 2 boards. Arjun and Vidit won their games in dominating fashion to secure India a comprehensive victory in the 6th round. Meanwhile, the Indian women overcame Armenia 2.5 to 1.5. Tornavali Harika and Vaishali Ramesh Babu had to share the points with lower-rated players. Harika was held to draw by the experienced international master Lilith Christian, while Vaishali had to share the point with Mariam. With Tanya Sachdeva also drawing with Anna Sargassian, Divya Deshmukh saved the day for India by defeating Elena Danielian with white pieces on the 3rd board as India won the match on the top table. Tuesday will be a rest day as 5 rounds still remain in the tournament. And the International Olympic Committee published a list of 7 would-be candidates who are set to run for election in March 2025 to succeed outgoing President Thomas Bach for the next 8 years. 2 former Olympic champions, Prince of Middle East Kingdom and son of former president, are also in the race to be the next IOC president. The global leaders of cycling, gymnastics and skiing also are in the play. The IOC said that World Athletics chief Sebastian Coe and Zimbabwe's sports minister Kirsty Coventry are also among 7 candidates for next year's presidential elections. Thomas Park is stepping down next year after 12 years at the helm. The election will be held at the IOC session in ancient Olympiad, Greece in March 2025. And Scotland's capital, Glasgow, is set to be announced as the host city of a scaled-down Commonwealth Games in 2026, a year after Australian state Victoria pulled out due to ballooning cost. The 2026 Commonwealth Games were to be held in multiple cities across Victoria, but the Australian state made a shock announcement in July 2023 that it has pulled out of the multi-sport event, citing a steep rise in projected expenditure. However, it is also learned that the Australian authorities have promised a multi-million-pound investment to help finalise Glasgow's offer to rescue the multi-sport event. We'll see how it goes. An All India Football Federation on Monday appointed Santosh Kashyap as the new head coach of the national senior women's team, replacing former international player Chauba Devi at the helm of affairs. Kashyap's first assignment will be SAF Women's Championship to be held in Kathmandu from October 17 to 30th. A 29-member squad will camp in Goa from September 20th in preparation for the championships. Kashyap is a former India international and has almost a decade of coaching experience in the I-League. He has managed clubs like Mohun Bagan, Aiswal FC and Mumbai FC, among others. And veteran racer Badal Joshi has become the first Indian to participate in the prestigious Gotland Grand National. With its history spanning for over 40 years, this is the world's largest enduro event held annually in Sweden since 1984. Joshi is set to face a tough test as the racer will have to go through extreme conditions and temperatures near the North Pole. Joshi began his journey in 1994 with monsoon scooter rally and over the years has proved his mettle by conquering various terrains and winning numerous titles. And Tunisia's Ons Jabeur has been forced to end her 2024 season prematurely due to a lingering shoulder injury. The 30-year-old has been battling with health concerns for a while, which has caused her to slip to 22 in world rankings. Jabeur pulled out of Cincinnati Open, Washington and the US Open with a shoulder problem after missing the Paris Olympics due to concerns over her knee. Jabeur informed on social media that she would be stepping off the tennis circuit for the rest of the season due to her ongoing injuries. The former world number 2 said she will dedicate her time to charitable projects while recovering and return to action in Australia next year. Now, an Estonian man walked a slackline set up on Istanbul's Bosphorus Bridge, nearly 1 kilometer walk that took him from Asia to Europe. Jean Roux said the car traffic beneath him on the bridge, as well as planes and helicopters above, were a distraction during the 47-minute walk on the slackline set up between the legs of the bridge, which was 165 meters above the sea level.
The slackline is stretched above the bridge, from one side of the bridge to the other side. It means it goes above the cars. Cars are distracted while walking. There are non-stop flow of cars passing by. It's so much noise because they're making a siren while I'm walking on it, and also I could hear the helicopters, the planes flying around because it's a city environment. In city environment, it's always harder to walk slacklines than somewhere in the nature.
All right, that's all for this edition of Sports Buzz, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching Sports Buzz.